To truly understand what ignites a woman's desire, especially as we mature, we have to move beyond the surface. It's not about tricks or performance, and it certainly isn't about chasing some fantasy sold to us through media or porn. Real desire lives in the subtleties. It lives in the way her body relaxes under your touch, in the quiet moments when words fade and presence takes over. It's in the space between breaths, in the way she looks at you when she feels not just wanted but deeply seen. For too long, men have been taught that physical intimacy is about dominance, about control, about how long you can last, or how hard you can go. But what if it's actually about softness? What if the most powerful kind of connection doesn't come from performance, but from presence? When you truly start to pay attention to her voice, to her silence, to the way her breath changes, to how her body shifts, you begin to understand that intimacy isn't something you take. It's something you're invited into. One of the most overlooked truths in deep connection is how powerful the smallest gestures can be. A soft kiss on the neck, a warm hand resting on the small of her back, the way you exhale gently against her ear. These moments are electric, not because they're loud, but because they're intentional. Because in those moments, what you're really saying is, I'm here, I see you, I'm with you. Research shows that almost 94% of women find a kiss on the neck incredibly arousing. But it's not just about physical response, it's emotional. That kind of kiss says, you are safe with me, you are desired, and I want to savor every part of you, not rush through it. And it's not just the neck. Her stomach, her inner thighs, the backs of her knees, even her ears, these aren't just physical zones. These are doorways to trust. When you explore them slowly, with genuine curiosity and respect, her body starts to open to you, not because she has to. Many men are surprised to learn that some women feel the most emotionally available and even the most sensual during their period. In fact, some women experience heightened sensitivity and a stronger craving for closeness during that time. But for that to happen, there has to be zero shame. No rush, no awkwardness, just presence. That's the magic of real intimacy. It's not just about what happens between the sheets. It's about how you show up when things get vulnerable. When a woman feels that you're not trying to escape discomfort, but that you're leaning into it with care, she opens in a way that's deeper than physical. That's when you move beyond sex and into real connection. Let's talk about orgasm. The truth is, only about 15 to 18% of women orgasm from penetration alone. And yet so many men think that's the main event. In reality, around 80% of women need direct clitoral stimulation to reach orgasm. That's not a flaw. That's biology. And when you stop taking it personally and start getting curious, everything shifts. Her body is talking to you constantly in how she breathes, how her muscles tighten or relax, how her energy moves. When you slow down and listen, you realize it's not about doing more, it's about doing less with more awareness. The nipples, often ignored, are deeply sensitive. When you kiss them slowly, softly, with attention, you activate far more than just arousal. You activate trust. A woman's body is a landscape. Every inch holds memory, tension, emotion, and when you explore her with care, she lets go, she melts, she trusts. Now, imagine removing one sense. Like sight, a simple blindfold can heighten everything. Every touch becomes more powerful. Every whisper, every breath, every graze of your fingertips becomes amplified. She doesn't just feel your touch, she surrenders to it. And this has nothing to do with dominance or control. It's about deepening her experience. When she can't anticipate what's next, she drops into the moment, into her body, into her feelings. And if she trusts you, that surrender becomes total. Warm oil, silk sheets, soft restraints, these aren't just props. They're tools for building trust and layering sensation, not to overwhelm her, but to show her, I've taken the time to know what makes you feel alive. But here's the thing, foreplay doesn't start 5 minutes before sex. It starts earlier, sometimes hours earlier, in the way you touched her back when she was cooking, in the way you looked at her when she was talking about something that mattered to her, in the way you created space for her to feel seen, heard, and safe. Something as simple as a shared bath or shower can be an invitation into her sensual world. The warmth of the water, your hands gently washing her skin, your breath on her shoulder, these things open doors that no words ever could. And when you treat these moments with reverence, not urgency, she remembers. Her body remembers, and that memory becomes desire. You also have to learn to read her body, not just when it's aroused, but when it's speaking, in subtler ways. Sometimes the way she wraps her legs around you isn't just about keeping you close. It's about saying, I trust you, I want this connection, don't pull away. After she climaxes, her body enters a state of vulnerability. It's not the time for more intensity. It's the time to hold her, to breathe with her, to let her body settle. The man who knows when to pause, when to be still, when to cradle her, that man is unforgettable. That's what emotional safety looks like, and safety in intimacy is everything. Now, we can't ignore the influence of media on how men approach sex. Things like hair pulling, choking, roughness, these have become normalized. But what we don't talk about is the harm. Every year, over 600 people in the US are sent to the ER due to choking injuries during sex. That's not passion. That's a misunderstanding of what intimacy is. Real passion isn't reckless. It's mindful, it's attuned, and it begins with consent. Enthusiastic, ongoing, clear consent, not just assumed silence or performance. Because true connection is built on respect, and a woman who feels respected will trust you with everything. Let's also be honest about vibrators and toys. Some men see them as competition, but in reality they're an opportunity, an invitation. Women who use toys often know their bodies incredibly well. That's not a threat, it's a gift. When you welcome that, when you invite her to share what brings her pleasure, you become a partner in her experience, not an obstacle to it. Toys can deepen your connection. They open doors to communication, experimentation, laughter, and trust. And when you let go of ego and lean into curiosity, you create space for something so much deeper than just physical release. Because ultimately, real intimacy isn't about performance. It's not about lasting longer or being better. It's about being present, being kind, being open, being brave enough to slow down and actually feel something. Desire doesn't fade with age. It matures. It becomes richer, more layered, more soulful. It moves from urgency to depth, from wild sparks to glowing embers, and that ember, that slow-burning, steady fire, that's what creates true intimacy, the kind that lasts beyond the night. When you can say, I want you with depth, with grounded confidence, not ego, you become the kind of man who makes her feel safe to let go, to open, to surrender. And in that surrender, something sacred happens. You stop performing, she stops guarding, and together you create a space where love, desire, and trust can truly thrive. Her pleasure is not a task to complete, it's an invitation to meet her fully, to explore her body with reverence, to witness her soul with tenderness, and to be present completely in the experience of two people choosing each other again and again. And when it's all over, when the last kiss has settled into her skin and the room is quiet, that's when the real intimacy begins. Don't rush to clean up. Don't jump out of bed or turn away. Stay, hold her, let your breath match hers again, because in that stillness, in that raw, unguarded space, she's deciding whether this was just sex or something more. Women remember how you make them feel after. The way your arms wrap around her when she's vulnerable. The way you look into her eyes without needing anything more. That's the moment that stays. Not just what you did to her body, but what you offered her soul. Did she feel adored? Did she feel safe? Did she feel like she could fall apart in your arms and still be held together? This kind of connection doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you choose it. Because you choose to show up differently. To unlearn everything you thought intimacy was supposed to be and start listening, really listening to what she needs, moment by moment. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real, open, present, willing to say, teach me what feels good for you, and then actually pay attention to the answer. That's what makes a woman crave more than just your touch. It makes her crave your presence, your energy, your heart. So when you're with her next, forget the scripts, forget the performance, slow down, let her lead with her breath, her body, her energy. Let the moment unfold like a story, one page at a time. Because when you do, you're not just having sex, you're creating something unforgettable, something sacred, something real.